Today I want to talk to you about protecting your marriage. When people get married, typically our vows are to love, honor, and be faithful to our spouses. And of course, all our intentions are good on that wedding day. About a year after our due day into recovery, my wife watched our wedding video. She said it was so hard to watch and listen to, the vows that I was saying, because of what she knew now. And I bet all of you who are hurt spouses wish you could have known what was in your future with your spouse. But she didn't. And the video was hard to stomach, just another consequence of my betrayal. As we promise things to our spouse, it seems we would try to protect the marriage to the best of our ability. However, in my marriage, I took my wife and relationship for granted. I did not see my marriage as something I needed to protect. I think in most marriages, this just doesn't enter our minds. In my case, I chose to ignore I was even married. There was an opportunity to talk to another woman or be complimentary. I would do that without regard for my wife. I did not treat my wife as part of me and an important part of who I was. I was just in complete disregard for protecting my marriage. What I mean is that I was not on the offensive, and we need to be aware that our marriages are under attack. Everywhere you look, there are things that can tear your marriage apart piece by piece. A lot of things come from the entitlement society we're in. Voices that are screaming you deserve better. Maybe you have a job that takes a lot of hours and time away from your family. Some might be the people you work with and you spend some time there. And that could be a high-risk relationship. Even at church, you could have high-risk relationships there. Social media is huge. Facebook can connect you with people from your past that are high risk and shouldn't be done. And people who you don't know and might want to be meeting. Of course, the internet's readily available for your attention, loaded with temptations. And the message we get in movies and TV shows and tells us that extramarital relationships, they're the norm and fine. After discovery of infidelity, and you make the choice to turn from your past and change direction into recovery and healing, it is pretty easy to see how many ways we didn't protect our marriage. In fact, what you'll find is the further you get down the road into recovery and honesty, our eyes are cleared and we can see so much better of how we acted and what we did or didn't do. For so long, our eyes are veiled because of deception and lies, and it takes time to clear our vision. So what can we do to protect our marriage? Today, I want to offer you two ways. First, I want you to be aware and watch your words. Be aware of who you talk to, why you talk to them, and what you say. For example, when I enter into a conversation with another woman, I try to interject my wife's name or something about my wife as soon as possible. I do this to make sure they know my wife and marriage is important to me. Compliments are good, but you have to be careful. They're important to give people, but in the case of recovery, they may need to be held back for people that could be a risk to relapse. Second, I want you to work on transparency with your spouse. Now that you see them as part of you, let them know what's going on with you. If you run into an AP or an AP tries to contact you, let your spouse know right away. If there's someone who wants your attention or flirts with you, even just a little bit, let your spouse know. Be on guard to watch and be ready to keep your spouse informed of how you see your marriage being attacked. And let them know ways you were able to protect your marriage today where now you can see that you failed to do that in the past. We have to understand and be honest to know situations that are high risk for us and be willing to avoid those for the sake of our spouses and our own recovery. Temptations will always be there, and we're not defined by them. We can only be aware of them and plan for our response ahead of time. When an opportunity presents itself, remember to see it through the filter of protecting your marriage. We have to see ourselves differently with our spouses as part of us. We need to be vigilant, and we need to get it in our minds that we have this castle wall around our marriage with our spouse in the middle. So today I encourage you to evaluate how well you are doing to be on the offensive to protect your marriage. And let your spouse know you love them and will protect your marriage.